Hey, hey, hey. Happy holidays, everybody. We're back with another episode of our Airbrush Test series. And before we dive into all these new airbrushes and comparisons, if you guys have a specific comparison between two airbrushes or a specific airbrush you want us to dive into in a little bit more depth, please drop a comment. Let us know what you're interested in seeing, and we'll definitely look into getting that for you. So, the first one that we're going to talk about today is the Paasche Talon from one of the oldest manufacturers in the USA. It comes with a 0.38 millimeter nozzle and offers a wide range of lines, and you can actually get really fine lines for a nozzle this size with this airbrush. It feels big and fat in your hand, so we would suggest it for someone with larger hands, and the design stands out, featuring vibrant colors and shiny chrome, but there are some imperfections like the welding seals and a few dents. The screw-in type nozzle is also larger than most, which makes it harder to damage when installing, so that's a plus. The overall quality feels a bit lower than its overseas competitors, but it's also priced reasonably. There's no issues with control. It does what you want it to. Next up is made in Germany, and you guessed it, it's Harder and Steenbeck, and we're talking about the Evolution Silver line. This airbrush comes with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, and these airbrushes are normally sold as 2-in-1 conversions, where the 0.4 millimeter needle is a secondary set for heavier sprays. And we can clearly see the reason why. The nozzle on this model is almost the same size as the previous Talon airbrush, but somehow the Evolution sprays much heavier. It gives patterns up to 1 inch, but it can't do any fine lines and sprays a lot of paint volume, which you can see on our image. It's the heaviest and darkest of all the samples. Overall, the quality is brilliant, but from our perspective, this airbrush with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle is definitely a secondary tool. Now, the Max 35 by Sparmax is next. And this airbrush is made in Taiwan, but don't let that fool you. Quality-wise, this instrument feels much closer to the Japanese standard of technology. A standard double-action airbrush will get the job done for most projects, and that's ranging from anything from makeup to miniature building. It's predictable, you have good control, and it's a good-looking chrome finish, so it's not a bad choice, although it would be nicer to have a larger cup for a 0.35 millimeter nozzle. Even still, it performs well and, ranging from small dots to around a 3/4 inch pattern in a dotted line. The Iwata Eclipse HP CS, also with a 0.35 millimeter nozzle, is next up. This tool was made in Japan, however has quickly become one of the most iconic brushes on the US market. This brush features a comfortable grip and a good range from pretty fine lines to about a 1/2 inch round pattern. It combines a small screw-in type nozzle with a self-centering base, which makes it easier to disassemble and clean. It's priced higher than its competitors, mostly because of its well-known brand, but also is sold in many large stores around the US, so it's easy to grab locally, which is important, of course, especially if you need it fast. The next one's very impressive for its price, and it's also made in Japan, with a very similar look and feel to the Eclipse. We have the Mr. Airbrush PS 289 with the 0.3 millimeter nozzle set. We love the quality on this brush. It also has superior control and perfect balance. You won't get a wider pattern than a 1/2 inch with this airbrush, however it can produce fine lines. Seriously guys, it has a 0.3 millimeter nozzle, which is not the finest on the market, but somehow the PS 289 gets much finer lines than most of the airbrushes with similar nozzle sizes. It's also equipped with an air valve to adjust pressure right on the airbrush. The only negative we can say about it is that this type of airbrush is limited to only one nozzle size, so you can't have interchangeable sizes for different tasks or projects. The last one for today is the US-made Badger Patriot 105. Lightweight and balanced, it lays comfortably in your hands. The plastic lid on the paint cup feels a little bit cheap, but it doesn't affect overall performance, which is actually pretty good. The nozzle set is called the detail set, but it feels more like an airbrush for larger projects. Maybe backgrounds for artists or solid fills if you're doing scale modeling work. You won't get fine lines with this airbrush, but the range is pretty good, from small dots all the way up to a 3/4 inch pattern. That's all we have for you guys today. We hope you enjoyed this one, and again, if you have more specific requests or a specific airbrush that you want us to talk about, let us know. Let us know what you're interested in, and we'll get some content out headed your way. Thanks guys, enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you next time.